Okay, I believe hopefully we've got everybody in here. So let's get started. This is an important year for Gaudenzia. This year marks 50 years. All right. This is an important year for Gaudenzia. This marks 50 years since we started. As a matter of fact, we started 2 doors down on the corner 50 years ago. So it's kind of appropriate that today we're here doing what we're doing. This building, the Tioga Family Center, was a vision of Gaudenzia's president, Michael Harrell, for many years. This building will help transform individuals and family lives while also helping to transform the neighborhood. It will provide critically needed affordable housing in Philadelphia. The Family Center provides 24 units of supportive, stable, and affordable housing. In here we have 11 one-bedroom units, 6 two-bedroom units, 7 three-bedroom units, and 4 of the single bedroom units are fully accessible. Gaudenzia has had the supports of many to achieve this accomplishment. It's an impressive list that warms our heart knowing that all these people and institutions support Gaudenzia. So we'd like to thank our funders, who include Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency, National Equity Fund, Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority, the City of Philadelphia Department of Behavioral Health, the Federal Home Loan Bank of Boston, the Federal Home Loan Bank of New York, the Federal Home Loan Bank of Pittsburgh, Citizens Bank, M&T Bank, PNC Bank, community lenders, the Reinvestment Fund, Philadelphia Housing Authority, TD Charitable Foundation, Amsterdam Family Foundation, Connolly Foundation, and the Brandywine Valley Insurance Group. On top of that, yes, let's round of applause. On top of that, the individuals we want to thank for their support are Mayor Kenny, City Councilwoman Cindy Bass, 8th District, Pennsylvania Representative Rosita Youngblood, U.S. Representative Dwight Evans, Dwayne Lilly, Ward Leader of the 11th Ward, Brian Hudson, Holly Glauser, and I apologize if I make any mistakes here, Sherry Daniels of the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency, David Jones and Eva Gladstein of the City Department of Health and Human Services, Ann Fadulon, Director of Planning and Development, Sandy Vasco, the City of Philadelphia Department of Behavioral Health, Liz Hirsch, Tara Gaudin, Roberta Cancelier, I hope I said that right, and Emily Camp Landis from the City of Philadelphia Office of Homeless Services, Melissa Long, the Division of Housing and Community Development, Greg Heller, Dave Thomas, Darcy Bauer, and Jane Duffy of the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority, Kelvin Jeremiah, George McDowell, Nick Dima, Brett Holden, Ariane Jeter, and Tazi White of the Philadelphia Housing Authority, Tony Lyons and Lisa Taylor of the National Equity Fund, Kathy Natchez of the Federal Home Loan Bank of Boston, Alan Lamboy of Citizens Bank, John Bendel and Dave Buches from the Federal Home Loan Bank of Pittsburgh, Nelson Acevedo of PNC Bank, Jeff Brandon, Senior Vice President of TD Bank, almost done, Lee Zhu Ru of the Federal Home Loan Bank of New York, Kate Bukowski and Burl Barmore of M&T Bank, Renee Murdoch of Key Bank, Audrey McMichael of Community Lenders, Don Hinkle Brown and Rob Cox of the Reinvestment Fund, Verna Tyner of Tioga United, Jean Veneziali, Gaudenzia Board Member Emeritus, Ron Hinton, Allegheny West Foundation, Sister Ann from the Mercy Neighborhood Ministries of Philadelphia, and then the other members of the board of Gaudenzia and the Gaudenzia Foundation. And to show it takes a whole village, I didn't do them all. If you want to read more of them, there's a list over on that wall that you can, at your leisure, do more. So we did cut it down, but there are some more people there. Okay, so before we hear from Mayor Kenny and others, please join me in viewing the Gaudenzia video, which gives more information about our organization.
Addiction is a disease of hopelessness. Hopelessness in the individual, in the family, in the community.
Addiction is not a weakness, it's an illness. It's a mental disease, it's a spiritual disease, it's a physical allergy.
Alcohol will kill you, drugs will kill you. And that's why we have to step in. That's why we have to be here for those folks that need us.
Shame poured out of my pores. Embarrassment as to who I was and what I had become in life. I felt like a loser.
I was getting arrested, going to jail, having vehicle accidents, motorcycle accidents.
Was desperate, had nowhere to go.
I started shooting heroin when I was 18.
I couldn't keep a steady job. I just felt worthless.
I was a crack addict for 8 years. I was a functional addict, and I would go to work and get high in the bathroom. So I went from losing many jobs to having no job to getting evicted. I didn't see the dysfunction at all. I didn't see how I looked and what I'd become. I was down to like 93 pounds. And that's when I started taking notice to myself. And I think that's when I started saying that I don't want to do this anymore.
Addictions can destroy self-respect. Addictions can destroy families. It's just a terrible problem, and I think the fact that Gaudenzia does such a good job of helping people with addictions is what attracted me in the first place and what has kept me working with the organization ever since.
When you ask the question of who is impacted by addiction, I think it's an easier question to say who's not.
One of the biggest misconceptions is that it's always the poor people or the less fortunate segments of our society. And I can assure you that we have in treatment in Gaudenzia, we have judges, lawyers, rich people, not so rich people.
It kills people young and old. It really doesn't matter. It affects our community, affects the fabric of our culture. But you gotta spend the time and effort. You can't, there's no magic.
Treatment works. When you get the proper treatment for the proper length of time, is highly, highly successful.
When somebody is involved in treatment services, it's a lifelong addiction, so it's a lifelong treatment process. And so we need to meet the individual where their needs are.
Our mission is to help people regardless of their resources, regardless of their ability to pay, regardless of their socioeconomic background. We provide residential therapeutic communities specifically for women and children, for people with co-occurring disorders, for people in the criminal justice system, for young adults. We have a program for 18 to 24-year-old heroin addicts, which is one of the fastest growing populations. For adolescents, HIV, these are all residential programs. We have the same programs outpatient. And then we have housing programs where people live in drug-free housing. We're pretty diverse. And what we try to do is provide continuums of care and not just one program. So when people come to us for help, they may end up in 2 or 3 different programs.
And in order to make that difference in the lives of the people that we serve, we need to provide our employees with the best possible knowledge, education, credentials.
So Gaudenzia has decided to work from within to develop our staff, to give them the credentials and the training necessary to continue to provide services for our clients. One of the most important factors of the Center for Higher Education is trying to develop a greater candidate pool to service our clients.
Our innovations come from necessity. Our mission driven.
Addiction is a family disease, period. You gotta treat the whole family. For women specifically, one of the barriers years ago in treatment was women were afraid for their children.
Advantage was actually the first program in the United States established specifically for women and women with their children. And it is the national model for women and children services.
I needed a place that took children. So they transferred me to Vantage. And I knew that my boys would be with me, I knew that. Throughout our stay there, I learned life skills again, which was good for me. And I'm not saying that I never had them, but they got lost somewhere. My boys, they needed stability and they needed structure as well. The child care specialist took them on field trips, helped with homework, did arts and crafts, and it did help them grow up.
The program changed my mom, and seeing her, fight through her addiction and just growing as a adult and an individual, that's what I get up for every day.
I built this house for Habitat for Humanity, my boys and I, and we've been here since 2000 to give hope to other women who think that there is no hope. Honest to goodness, it is nothing like it.
Treatment absolutely works, and I'm here as a living witness. I stand in testimony that treatment works, and a person given the right tools to learn how to deal with their life, to learn how to deal with their addiction, can absolutely turn that addiction around and become a person who's recovered, and then become a contributing member of society once again.
We could use everybody's help. There's no two ways about that. The most obvious way is through donations and support, financial support. But we have community groups in all our regions, all our locations. There's a tremendous need for volunteers, people who can help other folks learn basic life skills, help them find employment, give them the mentoring that they need to make themselves more productive citizens.
My eyes have been wet with the tears of children in their classrooms for classmates who were killed in the course of this deeply tragic drug war that rages not only in our city but in every city.
These individuals, if they do not get treatment, if do not enter into recovery, wind up costing us because of criminal justice issues, because of hospitalizations. So we are paying over and over again for what we don't do in the beginning, which is help a person get into a more productive lifestyle.
My life is completely different. It's the way it always should have been.
I learned to love myself here, and this is the place for me to be.
We can help people overcome tremendous obstacles, and that it doesn't just affect one person, it affects whole communities and whole families and multiple generations. That it's as important as I thought it was. It shows me that, and it does work, and it can happen.
We are here because there's no refuge finally from ourselves. Until people confront themselves in the eyes and hearts of others, they are runners. In this ground, we can each take root and grow, not alone anymore in death, but alive to ourselves and to others.
Okay, our first speaker is going to be Mayor Kenny. He's been supportive of Gaudenzia since he first came into office, and he's done this quietly, but we'd like to at least acknowledge some of the few contributions he's done for our cause. He visited the Women with Children Homeless Shelter on Christmas Day in 2016. He invited one of our clients' children to the White House. He asked the Philadelphia Mural Arts to create a mural for the homeless shelter for women and children to brighten their surroundings, and he visited Tioga Arms next door to tour it and to discuss the vision for this building. He recognizes the importance of addiction treatment programs and the need for supportive housing to help families break the cycle of addiction and poverty. Mr. Mayor, could you say some words?
Thank you very much, and good morning to everyone. And it's nice to see such a large group of people here, so we know that everyone's interested in helping people get better. And it's great to be with you all today as we finally cut the ribbon on the Tioga Family Center. Gaudenzia has long strived to serve the most vulnerable among us. I am pleased that this great organization was able to help make today possible. Providing safe, affordable housing helps single parents remain living in sobriety and breaks the generational cycle of addiction and poverty for their children. Single-parent families have had great success in the 13 years that neighboring Tioga Arms has been providing safe and affordable housing. Now we have a brand new development to continue this great work of supporting those living in sobriety. 24 single-parent adults and their children will call the Tioga Family Center their home in the year 2018. Each family will have access to on-site child care as well as educational, health, and employment services. These important resources can help residents sustain their recovery and improve their quality of life and the quality of life for the entire community. The Tioga Family Center will have a profound and positive impact on the families who will live here. I want to thank you for allowing me to join you here today, and together we can help break the generational cycle of addiction and poverty. And I just want to say that on Tuesday, this past Tuesday, I attended a funeral of a 28-year-old young man that I coached in ice hockey. He's the same age as my son. And we lost him, multiple opportunities for him to rehab, went to Florida back and forth, but finally succumbed to his addiction. And I'm happy to be here today because I know that the existence of this place, this institution, this building will save lives. Mark lost his life due to the grip of opioids and heroin, but hopefully many more lives will be saved as a result of this facility being here. So I'm very happy. I'm sorry to just between the firefighter and this, it's been a tough week. Anyway, I'm sorry. But I just want to thank you all for all the work that you do for people in saving lives and saving families. It's very, very important. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's a good example of how it doesn't just touch the person or the families, but the whole community or even the coach from many years ago. So thank you very much. Brian Hudson is the Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. He and his agency were instrumental in making this project become a reality. The Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency worked to provide affordable housing ownership and rental apartments options for senior adults, low and moderate income families, and people with special housing needs. Without his support, Tioga Family Center project would not have been realized. Brian?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure, certainly, to be here, and I do want to say congratulations on bringing this facility. I know Mike Harrell and I had many conversations about this particular development and what it would mean to the community. I do want to acknowledge my favorite board member, John Payon. Where are you, John? Okay, in the back there. Thank you for all that you do for PHFA. I think the mayor of Baltimore said it best. What family is not affected in the community by addiction? I, too, have a personal relationship, and Mike and I spoke about this with regards to my son, who was actually helped by Gaudenzia. So I know the work that you do, and it's a fantastic organization. Congratulations on bringing this project on board. Mayor Kenny, Calvin, Jeremiah, Senator Street, Councilwoman Bass. It's a partnership. You heard all of the funders that were mentioned. It's great that we all come together to do this. And I've always said that affordable housing should not be so difficult. PHFA is funding one of every 3 applications that come to the table. And I continuously lobby Washington for more resources because this is what we should be doing to help our communities, particularly when our mission is to improve the quality of life of the people we serve. And I can't think of a better way to do that, particularly now in the crisis, the opioid crisis that we're dealing with. We need many more institutions and organizations and facilities such as this to do just that. Calvin, I didn't bring any credits with me today. I know you're looking for those. They're coming in April, so stay tuned. Both of us. You're right. And it's competitive. So I urge you to, when you see a congressman or if you have connection to any of the congressmen or the people in Washington, tell them where you are and tell them the impact it makes on your community, the quality of life, how it's improved when you have organizations such as Gaudenzia doing developments like this to serve the people. It fits PHFA's mission, and I want to thank you for being our partner in bringing this project on board, because this is the model that I'll be showing our reps in D.C. as we lobby for more funding. So congratulations, and thank you for all that you do. Thank you.
Next is Kelvin Jeremiah. The Philadelphia Housing Authority, also known as the PHA, is the nation's fourth largest public housing authority and is the biggest landlord in Pennsylvania. Today, they own more than 14,000 affordable housing units, serving nearly 80,000 Philadelphians and employ 1,400 people to deliver services to their clients. PHA's support was crucial for this project. Please help me in welcoming Kelvin Johnson.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Sydney, I am doing work in your district, for the record, and I'm happy about that. Well, this is the outcome of what happens, frankly, when people give a damn. And Gaudenzia is in the business of saving lives, not just providing housing. And we are incredibly pleased to be partnering with you and some 25 other public-private partners to bring affordable housing to Philadelphia. We're doing a great job in that. I'm happy to be here to represent PHA. You're providing safe, decent, affordable housing, and PHA has committed some $1.5 million over the next 5 years to this project to support the 24 families who are living here. We were pleased it's an investment that it was worth making, and as we look at what's happening across the city with regard to affordable housing, as you went through the list of the funders, I commented to Brian, gone are the days when we can build a development like this with one funding source. You had about 12 by my count. And so it really does take a village to do the work that we're doing. We're partnering with like-minded organizations across the city. We have a city with Mayor Kinney who supports the incredible work that we're doing. Ava and Ann Fadulin, Cindy, Sheriff, and others are all advocates of affordable housing, and they're partners. And I'm thrilled to be here to support the work that you're doing. I am so touched and moved by the video, and your development here is just terrific. I wish I had developed it myself, actually. So thank you and congratulations on the excellent work that you're doing on all of our behalf.
And is Councilwoman Bass here? Oh, there you are. Okay, good. I think we missed you at the. Did you make it for the Rubicon?
Do it again, right?
I'll do it. There you go. Okay, Councilwoman Bass has a very full schedule, and sometimes she ends up late at ribbon cuttings. But other than that, well, she's been a tireless fighter for safe and livable neighborhoods, empowering underserved communities, and removing barriers to access and opportunity for those Philadelphians who need it most. She has a reputation for coalition building, community engagement, and rolling up her sleeves to get the job done without fanfare. Gaudenzia is happy to have her as a strong supporter of our work and our projects. Councilwoman Bass.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is a wonderful morning here in Tioga. This is a fantastic project. I'm so excited and so happy to be here. And, I just want to say a few thank yous. Number one, to Gaudenzia for the fantastic, fantastic work that you all do. There are a lot of folks who are in the recovery business, but there's a few who are above and beyond, and Gaudenzia is in that select group. And so I want to thank you because, like so many other folks in the room, I have been affected. Folks in my family, friends, people who are close to me who have been affected by addiction. And it's very, very difficult to see someone that you love, someone that you care about go through something so very difficult. So I just really want to say thank you for all that you do and for turning lives around. It really goes so far. You all know what I'm talking about. I don't have to preach to the choir about that. But you're fighting for lives. And when I was driving down just now, I came down 19th Street, and as I passed under that bridge, I just saw an incredible amount of trash and dumping, and I just, I said a few choice words. I have to put some money in the swear jar. Mr. Mayor, you're familiar with that, right? So, but we have to fight for our communities. We have to fight for, we're going to clean that up. We're going to clean up our neighborhoods, and we have to be in the fight for our people and for our neighborhoods, because if we don't do it, no one else will. And so I just really want to say thank you so much. Thank you to Brian, the guy with the big checkbook, that everybody loves to see him coming. Thank you, Kelvin, for all the work that you do. PHA has just been such an incredible partner, and I just really want to thank you, and of course the mayor and Gaudenzia again, and last but not least, certainly Senator Street, who has been just a phenomenal partner on the state side. Everything that we do through the senator's office. And so I don't know if you're on the program to speak, but okay, all right, so I'll just leave that alone. All right, but I just wanted to publicly thank you as well, and everyone for being here today. Thank you so much.
That was a good segue, because Senator Street is next. And in addition to what she said, he believes very strongly in our mission, and he puts actions behind his belief. He has worked tirelessly to help us secure funds for this project. So, Senator Street.
Good morning. Good morning. It's good to be here. It's a great project. Mr. Mayor, our hearts all go out to you. And to so many families and so many people who are touched. I'm no stranger to the fight in the recovery movement and have been fighting this fight for a long time with a lot of people. And Mike, we appreciate the work that Gaudenzia is doing, and we want to make sure that the resources keep coming. As Councilwoman Bass knows, she and I have been working on these issues long before either of us was elected. So these are issues that it's great to be able to work with people who have a sincere commitment. Brian, I'm so glad that you're still at PHFA making things happen. We need to make sure that the resources you need continue to flow so that you can make that impact. Kelvin, we're glad PHA recognizes the importance of the work that's being done here. And to all the families out here who have been so committed to this work, and for all the government employees that have been committed, and all the activists, it really does require a steadfast and vigilant commitment. It requires us to get up every day and do what it takes to make sure that the resources and the support is there. It is a commitment not very different than the commitment that people who are individually dealing with addiction have to deal with. I see Roland Lamb, who has been talking about addiction and making sure resources were available for as long as I can remember. We need to make sure that people have a place to live. We always talk about decent housing. We need to make sure that housing is more than decent, and this does that. It is housing that makes people feel good to come home to, because that's important. It builds self-respect back. We need to make sure that the support services are there. And Gaudenzia does that. We need to make sure that the community that the people walk around in is clean and safe, which we're all working to move in that direction. We have some work to do. And we have to make sure that we all do this in a way where we don't bump into each other and trip all over each other, and do it in a coordinated way. And that is one of the things that probably makes this as remarkable as anything else, is a myriad of the coordination of resources that have been brought to bear to see this happen today. And so this is a mini miracle, but every day a person wakes up who used to get high, and they don't get high that day, and they've made a new commitment to themselves, to their God, to their family, to do better. That's a mini miracle in and of itself. And I'll tell you, we can get things done, but we have to all work together, and we have to become just as committed to making sure that we support people who have made a commitment to turn their lives around, as those people are to their individual struggles. And so for each of us, and all the work that it takes to make these projects happen, we should think about those individuals and make sure that there are less basketball coaches, less families that are having to cry and mourn the loss because somebody didn't have the resources or didn't feel supported enough, and more families who are smiling like some of the people in the video because they were able to turn things around and make things better. And Mike, we're here with you now, in the future, and going forward. Thank you so much.
Next is Tara Gaudin, I hope I say her name correctly, Chief of Staff of the Office of the Homeless Services. The mission of the Office of Homeless Services is to provide leadership and coordination, planning and mobilization of resources to make homelessness rare, brief, and non-recurring for the city of Philadelphia. I understand her job's going to get harder as the tax legislation changes, but we are proud to be a partner with the Office of Homeless Services to improve the lives of those who need it most. So please help me welcome Tara.
Thank you so much. The Office of Homeless Services is incredibly excited to be here as part of this celebration for 3 reasons. First, to have the opportunity to publicly acknowledge the passion, pride, and proof of Gaudenzia's fantastic work in this world, living and breathing in the faces all around us today, is a true honor. The opportunity to publicly express the deep admiration and sincere appreciation for the purpose-driven, amazingly resourceful, committed staff who absolutely are the living embodiment of Gaudenzia's mission is an honor. And the third reason is the reason why we are all here today, to celebrate the grand opening of the Tioga Family Center. The mission of the Office of Homeless Services is to make homelessness rare, brief, and non-recurring for the city of Philadelphia. But truth be told, the real goal, the goal that gets us up every morning, is to end homelessness in the city of Philadelphia. True. Now, that's an audacious goal, right? But we truly believe in it. But we also believe that the only way to achieve it is through awesome partnerships like the one we have with Gaudenzia. When we are in a bind, desperate to find emergency shelter for a vulnerable couple that was sleeping outside, we call Gaudenzia, and they make room, understanding that family means community of who you love and where you feel safe. When a large family at risk of being torn apart because they have nowhere to go, we call Gaudenzia, and they make space and create hope. And when we go through a historic 15-day code blue that we just came out of, Gaudenzia was already ready with a temporary emergency housing that they open every year for us as part of our winter initiative. I can go on and on, not only about Gaudenzia's quick responsiveness in times of emergency, but also their long-term success in operating permanent supportive housing programs where 100% of their residents maintain their housing stability. Now, let me tell you, that's incredible. Thank you, Gaudenzia. But I'll end by thanking Gaudenzia for once again answering the call to help end homelessness in the city of Philadelphia by creating the Tioga Family Center, which is the supportive, affordable housing that our city so desperately needs. And thank you, Gaudenzia, for answering the call once again. Thank you for being truly awesome partners, and thank you for every single day showing up, diving in, and staying at it. Thank you so much.
The National Equity Fund is a leading national syndicator for low-income housing tax credits. They provide tax credits to make this project feasible. Tony Lyons of the National Equity Fund was unable to make it today, but because of his work with the National Equity Fund, Andy Frischhoff, Executive Director of Philadelphia Local Initiative Support Corporation, is here to speak on their behalf. Local Initiative Support Corporation is a catalyst for community change, working with partners to strengthen neighborhoods and improve the lives of the residents. They combine corporate, government, and philanthropic resources to equip underserved communities with a capital, strategy, and know-how to become places where people can live. Please help me welcome Andy Frischhoff.
Thank you. Good morning. It's an honor and a privilege for the National Equity Fund and LISC to be able to support this project. I want to thank Tony Lyons, who wasn't able to be here, but who really did the work and deserves to be here for the work with his team. I also want to give a shout out to Renee Murdoch from Key Bank, one of our investors. And again, our investment is simply something that allows you to take advantage of the commitment of the tax credits from Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency, allows you to have another step up on all the work that you're already doing. So for us, we feel, again, blessed that we were able to play a small role in the work of Gaudenzia and the development of the Tioga Family Center. For us, it all starts with a home. Health, family, recovery, economic mobility, employment, becoming a homeowner. It starts with the stability, the support, the care here. And so for us to be able to provide support for Gaudenzia and the rest of the developers who provide affordable housing, it's what we get up and do every day and what makes it such a joy and a privilege. So thank you all, and we look forward to being able to do more with you and your village.
David Buches is a Community Investment Manager for FHLB Pittsburgh. They are a wholesale bank that serves the housing, finance, and community and economic development needs of its owner-member financial institutions in Delaware, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. They provide reliable access to low-cost funds, competitive pricing in the purchase of mortgage loans, correspondent banking, technical assistance, affordable housing grants, and other programs so members can better serve their communities. Mr. Buches?
Thank you and good morning. I want to, on behalf of the Federal Home Loan Bank, I want to add our congratulations to the Gaudenzia staff and development team for their very successful planning, completion, and opening of the Tioga Family Center. This development is a great example of not only a project that will have a very positive impact on the neighborhood. I understand that prior to building this was a vacant lot, so this is a great positive addition to the neighborhood. But it's also a great example of the combination of affordable housing and supportive services. Housing and services alone, good things, but when you combine them and provide ready access to folks in need, particularly that are suffering from challenges of addiction, it's a very powerful resource, all at one location here at the Family Center. The focus of this project on family stabilization is very important, and I commend the staff of Gaudenzia for all their hard work to bring this project to fruition. From the list of funders that was read earlier, one might say that the easy part was the construction of this facility. Getting all those funders, if you can imagine, on the same page takes a lot of effort. So I also want to again acknowledge the partnership between PNC Bank and Nelson Aceveda. I don't know if you're here. But PNC Bank is a member of the Federal Home Loan Bank of Pittsburgh. They partnered with Gaudenzia and sponsored the application for funding from our affordable housing program. So that's a very powerful partnership, again, between the banking industry and the affordable housing industry. So again, our congratulations, and we look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you.
I'm losing microphones here. Jeff Brandon is Senior Vice President of TD Bank. Through TD Charitable Foundation's Housing for Everyone competition, Gaudenzia was awarded a grant. Gaudenzia was one of 5 organizations awarded this grant out of a pool of 250 applicants. And Jeff is here to share a few words with us.
Thank you and good morning. I'm willing to wager that there is not a single person in this room that woke up this morning and said, I hope there's a banker on the agenda today, right? Didn't happen. So I will be appropriately brief. Most times when we put money into a development project, we want it back. Not so in this case. We were thrilled to provide Gaudenzia with a $100,000 grant in our 2016 cycle for Housing for Everyone. What I do is lend money to people. That's my day job. This is the great part of what I do, because at TD we believe in giving back, but doing it the right way. And the focus for our giving is driven by initiatives that foster affordable housing, financial literacy, economic development, and neighborhood revitalization. I can't think of a project that's more appropriate and fitting to our mission than the Tioga Family Center. So Mike, congratulations to you and your team on this amazing building and changing lives. Congratulations.
Okay, we have one more speaker left, and that's Mike Harles. And if you know Mike, and depending what kind of mood he's in, we're almost done and we'll start the tours, or we're just beginning the program. so we'll try to keep him moving. So Michael, if you could.
You've been warned. I'm going to go off the script a little bit. So I lived on that corner, okay? I'm going to let you know what's important. And I lived in that corner when that building next door was a drug infested, not drug infested, it was actually a house of ill repute. It was kind of like when we talked about the Blue Moon in West Philadelphia. This was the Blue Moon of North Philadelphia. And I lived there, and like you said, Cindy, coming down that street, I walked up to 22nd Street to get the bus to either go. I went to two places. I either went downtown to work at our outreach center, or I went to our gas station that we had up on F and the Boulevard. So I went to work here every day, and I would look at that building every day. I sold drugs in that building. I didn't sell them. I actually delivered them. I was not that sophisticated. And it's been a long time. It's been 46 years. If you want to come get me, you can come get me. But we looked at that, and there's a guy, is Tyrone here? When we opened in that building 50 years ago, Tyrone was in the basement. He was homeless, and he was living in the basement. By the way, come up, Tyrone. I just want to hug you. So we would sit on that porch over there and look at that building and say, we need to do something about that. Now, think about how unrealistic that sounded. You know what I mean? But we did it, Tyrone. We did it. And if it wasn't for Tyrone, I wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for me, there's some people in this room who wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for you, none of us would be here. And you got to know that. Our community, the relationship between us and the community has survived for, come up here with me, don't go nowhere. So has kept us alive for all these years. I got so many people, I got, what's the right word for it? Survivor's guilt. I really do. I got serious survivor's guilt. And you all made me feel really, really guilty today for giving me the kind of support that I've been getting, and all the, like I did something. The people out in this room did a lot of work. I mean, the people from Shurik, I don't have these skills. I'm not that smart. I really ain't. And Brian, I sat in Brian's room and I looked around and I seen him and Bon Jovi all over the walls, right? Okay? And we all know Sister Mary, and Sister Mary's over the wall. And I'm begging and I'm looking around at the pictures and thinking, oh man, this is going to be a tough one. But by the way, I knew that wasn't true. And that's why I was sitting there, because Brian's heart's been with us from the very beginning, and thank you so much. Thank everybody in the room. I get really worried about not mentioning somebody because there's so many people, but I haven't asked for everybody. There are 36 women sitting in a chair last night over at Kirkbride. 36 women who were homeless that are sitting in a chair because we can't even get them a bed. So that's number one. I got 36 women sitting there. That drives me nuts. And I know it drives you nuts too. So it's not something, I'm not trying to make anybody feel guilty. But we need to have another project. We will be getting in line. Even though I'm old, we'll be getting in line with everybody else. and we need some projects. And we're gonna start to bring those chairs down, start to take those chairs apart. We went and bought fancier chairs, you know what I mean, so they're more comfortable, but it just pains me to see them folks in the chairs. Number two, you talked about driving down the street. I drove down the same street, and I thought the same thing. I thought, we gotta keep doing this. My life was saved on this block. We're not going away. We're going to be here, and it's going to get better. We're just going to keep at it. And we got plans. I need your support for it. We want a lot of our women that have went through these programs have their own homes. We got one of our women, she told me the other day, she says, I got 2 houses. In case they take one away, I'll have another one. So she's never going to be homeless again. So, and you've met some of those folks. These folks, we got a kid here that got 20 scholarships from Tioga Arms, 20 scholarships. Me and Tyrone know where he would have been had he not been in those apartments next door. We absolutely know without a doubt. There's no doubt where he would have been. Because we also have programs in the state penitentiary at SCI Chester. And I'm now seeing this kid get 20 and have to make a decision between 20 scholarships. By the way, how's he doing, Tony?
He's in his 3rd year of college.
Okay, all right. You all, that boy is because of you all. You got it? It's because of you all and what you do. We talk about that a lot, like we need to stop opening jails, and we talk. I mean, if I hear that one more time, you know what I mean. We've been talking about it for 20 years. You guys did it. You did it, and the mothers, you did it. You know what I mean. And if it wasn't for the mothers that came before you, you wouldn't be here. You know that. You know what I mean. And you are so important because you are not only helping your own family, you're leading the way for a lot of other women that believe there's no hope. You know what I'm saying? Ladies, keep it up, man. You do a marvelous job. I'm so proud of you all. Thank you.
I made a mistake. There is one more. Teresa, who is a resident, is going to get up and talk.
Hi, how are you? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm nervous, but I'm also excited, and this is a dream come true. For me, being a single mother of 3, I really didn't get a chance to raise my daughters. I had the opportunity to raise my son the proper way. December 2nd, 2012. I was broken down, came to Gaudenzia 1306. I was accepted to New Image. That's where my journey started. Stayed there for 5 months. I was approved for a transitional. When I had my transitional interview with Miss Tony, I told her my story. She said, well, what's different about this now? What are you going to do different? And I told her, I believe in myself and I'm going to change. I got back to the apartment. I got back to the place. I was very upset and I was very hurt because I wanted her to believe what I believed. But I know I had to show it for myself. She built a fire under me to make sure to say, I'm going to prove to you that I can do it. Thank you, Miss Tony, for putting that fire under my behind. So, completed transitional. Went through outreach 2 for outpatient IOP and OP. Got approved for permanent housing at Tioga Arms. I moved in 2014 in July. I'm still there. Went through the women's seminars, all the programs that they had, talking to Miss Joan, Miss Eve, all the staff. They helped me become a better mother, a better productive member of society.
Miss Tony started me in my employment through the Winter Initiative program. First time she asked me, I said no. I was scared. She asked me again. I said, I'm not going to be a dummy and turn it down twice. I was employed for Gaudenzia. After that was over, I got recommended for another position at 1306. I'm still there now, full-time morning house manager. Every day, I'm grateful to help women like me that comes through our program. I work for the 4th floor women co-occurring. And I want them to have what I have. They're stubborn. They're stubborn. They don't want to hear it. They don't think I know anything. But I'm learning every day to give back what was given to me. Me being in Tioga Arms and being in this neighborhood, I was able to find pre-K services for Mercy Neighborhood Services for my son. Thank you very much. He goes to the aftercare program now. I'm grateful for all the support that I have. And thank you for this honor. It was very surprising and shocked, and I'm so humble. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Teresa. That does conclude our program, but we are going to have tours. We're going to meet out in the lobby and break off into 2 different tours in about 5 minutes. So if you would like to take a tour around, please feel free to meet us there. And thank you all so very much for all your support, your help in getting this done. We appreciate all the help you give to Gaudenzia and hope to continue working with you. Thank you.